Welcome back to the adventures of Gunther. Since so many people requested the continuation of his story, here we are at the launch platform. Doing rocket tests while actually being in the rocket seemed like a foolish thing to do, so Gunther decided to remove the seat and replace it with a switch. This way he can connect all thrusters to it and see how the rocket performs without risking his life. The rocket was ready to be tested, and as soon as he activated the switch, it flew off into the sky. The rocket kept going and going until it was just a shiny little dot high up in the sky. He wasn't sure how to feel about this. Deep down he knew that this is exactly what he needed to do. But why? And then from the depths of his rectum came a voice. The voice of Kevin Spacey telling him to go to the teleporter. Without thinking, Gunther dropped his rocket experiments and went running towards the teleporter. Each planet within the Scrap Mechanic universe has a bunch of platforms used for teleportation that are usually near water tanks and signal towers, and in this case he teleported to a planet that granted him higher frames per second and where his goal was to create a construction area. Kevin Spacey's instructions said to build a nice car and find a water tank that is growing out of a dirt hole. Gunther decided to create a car with off-road suspensions yet again, but this time he aligned them a bit closer to the ground so the car has more stability. After adding a quick frame and connecting the parts, he went into the car and on his way towards the water tank. Time was of the essence, and at just the right moment he noticed the water tank that was coming out of the dirt below the road. He approached the large structure and noticed pipes in his inventory. Something was forcing him to place pipes, starting from the water tank. Since he had a few types of pipes, he was able to change angles and create multiple connections with the dirt. This seemed completely pointless, but Gunther is not a silly man. He knew that there was a purpose behind everything that he was doing, even if he didn't understand it at the time. He needed to build a house, a white house. He also saw plants in his mind. After placing the foundation and creating walls, he placed a large metallic window on one side. The doorway needed a door, and he wasn't entirely sure how to do this, but then he remembered his electronics class in North Korea, where he learned about controllers and how he can use bracers to rotate objects. He added a bracer and placed these striped blocks that would represent the door. He added a controller on the inside and adjusted the rotation so the door opens on the inside. To automate this process, he also added a switch. By connecting this switch to the controller, he can open and close the door with one flip. However, this isn't ideal because there need to be two switches, one outside and one inside. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to add multiple connections to the door, which irritated the living fuck out of him, but Gunther must have patience, his glory has just begun. He decided to leave it as it is and then placed air conditioning in this corner. This is a special AC used for toxic filtration. Next step was building the roof, and once that was completed, he placed a table in the corner with one wooden chair. A potted plant is on the table. The opposite corner has a sink, a crate of grass, and two open boxes of plants. You're probably wondering, why would Gunther eat plants? Well, when he teleported to this new planet, his rocket engineering skills faded away, and he had an incredible urge to eat plants for some reason. His next project was creating a path using the staircase landing blocks, so he connected them all the way from the house to the pipes. He placed supports and then went to create the second level. This brought more fuckery than he anticipated, because creating actual stairs so they are in line with both the floor and the support blocks wasn't very simple. After digging around for a bit, the stairs were properly aligned and he was able to create the second level. There were still certain issues with supports being in the way, so he had to go up and down to make it all fit, and once it was completed, he wanted to test the path. As he walked the path, his forehead slammed the upper floor. Gunther smashed his head against the floor repeatedly, expecting something to happen, but the only thing he experienced was stupidity. Fixing the problem was relatively simple. The upper floor just needed to be a bit higher where the steps were, so he doesn't hit his head again. Surprising amount of fuckery for a simple path. His next assignment was creating a large concrete house in this corner. He built a big wall around the dirt and the floor on top. He didn't cover the entire hole though, he left a gap and entered it. To make sure the hole looks like a decent basement, he added another wall where the dirt slope was and started adding stairs. This basement will be used to store defective rugs that will serve as torture tools for slaves that will be working in the rug factory. Yes, when Gunther teleported to this planet, his mind was filled with rugs and Kevin Spacey demanded a rug factory in this exact location. Once the basement was prepared, he added walls and windows to the house. These metal windows seemed kinda creepy combined with concrete walls, which was perfect. Once that was done, Gunther got bothered by the basement hole and he wanted to cover it, make it a secret. Since bracers make adding secret doors very easy, he was able to quickly create one, but the problem was hiding the controller. A secret door should obviously have a secret switch, so the mastermind that he is, Gunther hid the controller behind the entire house and added a switch on the wall. This switch can't really stay in the open like this though, he needed to hide it as well, but for the time being he just created a room with a brick door. The switch that opens this brick door is located on the outer side of the room. Inside the room there is a wooden counter. Someone will always be standing behind this counter guarding the switch and making sure only Gunther and his chosen can enter the basement. The front door of the house is white to represent the transition between light and darkness for the slaves that go through it. This is it for now. Gunther's rug factory is slowly taking shape and he will do his best to make Kevin Spacey proud. The rugs that he will be producing will have a lot of fibers and softness that will be extracted from the butt cheeks of the slaves that die while working. Thanks for watching and make sure to let me know what would you like to see Gunther build? What type of house or machine do you think his rug factory needs? I have been Petard, your glorious lord, and may the blessings of Petardia eternally touch your butt.
Ovo je najglasnije moguće. Ja kurca računam. Jebote, ovo je biću.
Raketa mi te šlo sve. Spreman ko beba. Signal! 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 Jebote, signal.